Hi everyone, Charity Preston here from the Organized Classroom blog. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week so far. It seems like forever since I've created a video. So we're here today because this is the video that you requested to see based on our poll results from last week. So file organization for teachers is what we're up to today. I'm going to try to make it short. I tend to ramble on. And of course, YouTube limits me at 10 minutes. So let's get it in, let's get it done and out of here so you can figure out how best you want to set up your filing system for next year. Okay, so you're going to need a few basic supplies when you go to set up your filing system. You will need basic file folders. You're going to need hanging files. You will also need labels, of course, and you will need a filing cabinet. If you don't have a filing cabinet, another great alternative that I have tons and tons of are crates. You can buy them very, very cheap. They have them at the dollar store. They have them at Walmart, wherever you happen to go. You can get the crates and they have the handles on the sides, and you drop all your files in there as well. They're open, but they stack very nicely, especially underneath tables that have tablecloths over top of them, so you can't really see them. You can put a curtain in front of them if they're on a bookshelf. Some different ideas there as well. If you do not know how to create labels and type up labels and the headings on them, please visit my other videos. I do have a video for how to create labels on a Mac and how to create labels on a PC as well. There's a screencast you can watch actually how it's done. So it's something you haven't done before and you've been meaning to learn how to do. It's actually pretty simple. So just make sure if you hit this red bar right up here that has our website address on it, when you click on it, it will take you to my YouTube page where all my videos are. If you click the subscribe button right on that page, you'll be able to get those videos as well as all the rest of them that I've done, and then you will also be able to know when I have new videos that are also uploaded. So we hope to see you there. All right, file organization for teachers. I'm going to tell you how I've done it. It has been pretty simple for me to make sure that I have all of my supplies in one place, so when I sit down to plan my lessons for the week or whenever it is that you do it, you have everything right in front of you. There is nothing that I personally hate worse than 2 weeks after I've taught a great unit on rocks and minerals, I find something later that I had set aside to use specifically this year for that unit, and now the unit's over with and it's kind of a moot point at that point. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to make sure that everything ends up in that file so I have that great resource in front of me and I'm able to use it and put it into my plans if I'd like. So what I like to do is I sit down and figure out how do I plan. And this is what you need to think of. I personally plan by the week. I sit down on a Wednesday before and plan out my lessons for the entire next week. So I plan by chapters, stories. That's how I plan. Maybe you plan by units or by a specific standard or by a theme. Maybe you work in themes. However you plan is how you need to create the labels and the files. So being that I plan by story for my reading stories, I will sit down and type up labels of all the story titles. So I have an entire sheet of labels. I have all the story titles. I pull them off and then I stick them right here, okay? Then I put them right into my hanging file, and now I have a file with one story's name on it, and I drop it right into my filing cabinet. Now, for yours, you, like I said, set it up however that you plan. You just want to make sure that it's there so you can pull that resource as necessary. For me, if I sit down to plan for an entire week, I'll pull my reading chapter, whatever math chapter I'm doing, and then either a science or a social studies chapter as well, and I can pull those files and they're sitting right in front of me. So, after you have created all of your files, you have your blank and empty new file folders with fancy labels on the top of them, and they're hanging in your filing cabinet. it's time to start placing materials into those files that go with that specific story, chapter, unit, theme, whatever you decide to do. I will place the pre-test, the post-test for the story of the week. I will place any specific worksheets that perhaps I need the students to do. If there is a specific activity that goes with just that one story of the week, I will place that in there as well. It gets a little bit more tricky whenever you have professional development books or maybe an activity guide, or specific projects that can be used in a bunch of different places. Maybe you have a book report that you do once a quarter, but you know where it's going to fall in that quarter. What I like to do is I drop everything on the copier. Oops, it fell on the copier. And make copies enough to place everywhere that you need to for that year. If you have something that you do every other week or once a month, make that many copies and put it into that correct file. If it is a trade book that you're only going to use for that one story, that one chapter, if it's small enough, drop it in the file that's already there. If it's one that you want the students to be able to utilize as well, what I like to do is drop it right on the copier, make a copy of the front cover of it, and put that right in your file as well. You won't forget that you are going to use it. If there are specific manipulatives or there's a game or something big that's in your supply cabinet that you don't ever remember to go in there and look for, take a picture of it, print it off, drop the picture right onto a plain document, print it off. You don't even need to drop it into a document, run it through the photo wizard and just print it off, drop it into the file. You will never forget what materials and what items that you have to use. If you have a book that has lots of different ideas in it that you can use all over the place, just make a copy of that specific activity for whatever chapter, unit, lesson it is that you want to put it in. So just make copies of everything and just make a little note to yourself on the copy. Hey, make sure to go check out pages 56 to 58 in this activity guide, and you've got a picture of the front cover of it right there, so that way you can go grab it when it's time to do your lessons. So what I do then is when I sit down to plan for the week, all I do is go grab a reading file, grab my math file, grab my science or social studies file. I have everything sitting in front of me. Now the important thing to remember is whenever you are finished with that file for the week, I go ahead and drop it right back in there as soon as I'm done planning. Then anything that I have, so if I have a copy of the lesson that I want to teach and a copy of the student worksheet, I make sure I save those copies, at least one student worksheet and the master copy of the lesson. I drop it right back into that file as soon as I'm finished with it by the end of the day. So that way it doesn't get lost. You don't have a huge stack of filing that you have to go back through again. And it's already there for you to use for the next year. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed hearing how I set up my filing system. I'm sure all of you have wonderful ideas as well. We would love to hear about them on our Facebook fan page. So please visit us there, facebook.com/The Organized Classroom Vlog. You can always, of course, come to our website straight up above, www.theorganizedclassroomvlog.com. Lots of fantastic resources. Love to hear from you, and I hope you have enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.